Are you this bored during COVID-19, sitting at home doing nothing? Don't even know what to do, what to shoot? Well, in today's video, I'll be showing you one thing you can be doing at home without a model. All you need is your camera, lens, a room, whatever props you can get, and yourself. So stay tuned guys, and I'll take you step by step on how I'll do my self-portraits. All right, now with this sort of type of shoot is a lot of people have always asked me, how do you do your self-portraits at home? You know, what's the best settings I've used? How do I capture it? You know, ideas, how do you get ideas? Things like that. Now, with COVID-19, a lot of people are in quarantine at home. If your wife, kids, or whoever you're living with don't want to be a model, the only model you have is yourself. So this is the time you can be absolute creative with your self-portraits. So in today's video, what I'm going to show you is I'm currently in my studio. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say to me, but we don't have a studio. Well, that's fine. As long as you have a room where you can be able to do your own shoot and set up a prop or set up a little scene in your own house. Doesn't have to be a big room. Lenses wise, depending on room and what you want, I'll be choosing between either the 55 or the 135. Now, type of self-portrait I want to do is half body shots. So just depending on the room and what I'm planning to do, it will be one of these two lenses. Here is my layout. Now, I've currently got my black backdrop. Again, if you don't have a backdrop, that's fine. You can use your white wall. If you have a black sheet, or best yet, if you are indoors and you only want to rely on the light of your strobes or whatever strobe you're using, just have your light switched off. When you're shooting at f8 and up, being studio portraits, you intend to cut off a lot of the ambient light. So whatever light you have on, just to help to get your camera focused on your face, just by shooting f8 at shutter speed at 1/250th of a second at ISO 100, you'll be able to cut off all the ambient light, just having the light focused on you. So I will be showing you now my setup and how I'm going to set up this portrait shoot, taking it step by step and showing you the results. Being COVID-19, I just thought I'd take out one of my masks, hand sanitizers, toilet paper as props, maybe just trying to get something symbolizing what is going on in today's world. So I will be shooting with my A7R4 and I will be using the Godox 8200, two of them, with my mag box. All right, so now what we'll do, since I've already got the backdrop set up, I will be setting up a table and I will be getting my softbox on my Celine's boom stand, and I'll just quickly set up. So now what I'll be doing, I'll be sitting on the chair because I don't want a full body shot, just want a half body shot on the table. So what I got now, one key thing to always have is a tripod. I currently have the Benro FGP28C tripod, which I'll mount my camera on top. Obviously, when you're shooting self-portraits, you've got no one to help you. It's always ideal to have a tripod. Another important thing to have is a trigger remote. So I've got the Sony RMT P1 BT Bluetooth remote. So it'll be done wirelessly on my A7R4, being able to capture the shot, what I need. So what I'll do, we'll just quickly get set up with the lights and we'll get the props and everything, and I'll take you step by step. Now, I'm going to be shooting with the mag box, which actually is my very favorite softbox to use, because the reason why is very portable, quick and easy to set up. As you can see, it's all magnetic. So instead of setting up with my larger softboxes, will take me ages. Being in a smaller room, you know, even if you don't have a softbox like this, you know, you can use the mag grid, the mag sphere. So just something small, or one of those smaller softboxes, could be any brand. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this sort of gear, but this is the gear I will be using today. But just to give you an idea, you can use any softbox. Magrid or Magsphere or any cheap softbox. It doesn't have to be the 80-200 either. You can use speed lights. This sort of shot, I kind of want to make this shot, being COVID-19, but moody, bit gloomy, you know, everyone's sort of down and what's going on, being quarantined. I wanted to sort of get more of that mood shot. So instead of I'm using a normal softbox, allowing larger light spread, I wanted to use more of a grid. That way with the grid, it will help focuses the light just on your subject and making less light spread. So in other words, the background won't be as lit with a grid opposed to a softbox. Which is why I decided to use a softbox. Grid, sorry, instead of a softbox. With the magmod, it's got the diffusion, which is like a grid, helps focuses the light straight onto you. Now, because I've got a white table, I'm not kind of happy with the white table. So you can actually get these from any hardware store. It's like a perspex, clear, sort of like perspex material. You got black, white, clear, whatever you want. I'm going black because again, I want to get the moody look. So in hopes with the perspex, I want to try and see, maybe try and get a bit of reflection on myself and my props. So I'll just quickly set this up. That's my props. So what I love about the Sony cameras is the real-time IAF. So what it does is that it gives you the real-time eye autofocus. So when you just press on the autofocus button, I'm holding just to get focus. If it's close enough, you'll be able to pick up the eye. So now when I'm using the remote, it does the same thing. So as you probably see, it, you know, focusing on my eye. So that's another good thing with the Sony cameras as well. Especially using a wireless remote, you can be able to activate the eye autofocus. So with other cameras now, if you don't have a Sony camera and you shoot with Canon or Nikon, what happens is that you just sort of it's a bit of trial and error. You've got to sort of move your focal point and just kind of point it in that direction where your face is going to be. So if you know you're going to be sitting here, you kind of estimate it. You got to take a few shots with Canon, Nikon, other cameras who don't have the real-time IAF. Another thing you can do, I don't have it on my A7R4, but you can get an external monitor and mount it on top of your camera to be able to get those nicer view to know what's in focus. So when you're shooting with a remote, and you can be able to see where your focus point is, just to help you making sure everything, composition, everything is right. With that said, you got to sort of go back and forth a few times until you kind of estimate it. Best thing what I did before the real-time IF came along was I used to mark where I used to stand or sit on the floor, or if it's a chair I'm sitting on, leave the chair in that same position, get a few shots, and once it's there, then I know where I've already had it marked, and I just go back to it and redo my shots. So here, what I'm gonna do is that I'll get my mask, I'm gonna get a bit of moody shots, adjust my softbox, I'm gonna have it coming down just to give that bit of Rembrandt lighting on my face. I don't want my whole face lit, just want a bit more of a dark, moody sort of look. Hopefully I can get some of my reflection and everything as well on the black surface perspex that I've got here. What I'm doing here, I just set up my settings at f8, ISO 100 at shutter speed 1/250th of a second. I've adjusted the light to where I want it. So now I'm gonna take a couple of test shots just to make sure the lighting is perfect. So we'll get started for first shot. Another thing as well is make sure you have your camera set on a 2-second timer. That way, if you're using the shutter remote, you can quickly hide the remote and get into position before you take in the shot. If you don't have it on a timer, you won't have enough time to get rid of this unless you can sort of be in a position where you can hide the remote and not be visible. My case, I want to use my hands part of this shot, so I'm doing the 2-second timer. So I'll quickly check the back of the camera just to see the lighting. And if everything's perfect, we'll start the shoot. Okay, so I've quickly checked the photo. I'm pretty happy with the lighting, how everything is. So now I'll put on what I need to have. Mask, my jacket, get a bit more of a dark, moody look. to be able to get this shot on the go. So let's start it. Also, another thing is I'm shooting with the 55mm f1.8. I didn't end up going with the 135 because I have to set my camera all the way back. I want to get as close as possible just so I can see what I'm doing. So we'll be using the 55. If you don't want a black backdrop, or you don't have one, but you want a dark background, you know, if you by shooting at f8, you can cut the ambient light. I'll give you an example. We have the lights on, as you can see, just to be able to film this video. But when you look at my screen, everything is pitch black. Reason being is shooting at f8, ISO 100 at 1/250th second will cut the ambient light off. So again, if you have a room where you want black background but you don't have a black backdrop, this is another option to do. By the time you put on the trigger, the Godox Export trigger, obviously with the Sony cameras, because it's EVF, it will show the light, so you're not going to see what the camera is seeing. So let's get the party started. So after multiple tries, hot, a bit warm actually, because we haven't fully cooled down yet. I'm happy with this last shot. So what I'll do, I'll put it through post-processing and I'll leave the final shot for you guys to have a look at. So that's it for this video, just to be able to show you guys and how easy and quick it is to do self-portrait. Especially having Sony cameras, it makes it a lot easier. Now, in saying that, you can achieve this exact same results with Nikon, Canon, or any other brand without the real-time IF, even the older models with the Sony cameras. The only difference is that you'll be back and forth until you get the focusing right. Because there's nothing to detect the eye. You would have seen from the image that I posted and how it was zoomed in, showing you how sharp the eyes are because of the real-time eye autofocus. With the Nikon Canon, you just sort of gotta play, check, make sure once you're happy with it, make sure you mark your spot to be able to know where you have to be to get the proper shot that you're planning to get. As long as your composition is right, your position is right, and you know where to be to get your focus, nail your focusing, that's the main thing. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button for future videos. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of your shots that you've done at home while in quarantine, what type of self-portraits you guys have captured. If you guys aren't, do join my Art of Portrait Photography group. Do post your images there, and feel free to tag me, Hannah Saber, to get my attention on these images so I can have a look at. Until then guys, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.